All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, food bankers. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Michael Garrett. I'm the Chief Philanthropy Officer at the San Antonio Food Bank. Gathered around this podium today, we have representatives of the San Antonio Board of Directors, business and community leaders who hold the public trust for the organization and are charged with ensuring effective and impactful delivery of mission to the community. And it is, in fact, the delivery of effective and efficient mission that brings us to this moment today. Our topic might seem on the surface to be asking our elected officials to not cut programs that take food off the table for the most vulnerable. But it is about so much more. Budget choices are moral choices. How we spend reflects what we value. In my native faith as a Roman Catholic, we have a value framework called a preferential option for the poor. This framework prioritizes decision-making in light of its impact and consequences on the poorest of the poor. It is held in such high regard so as to replicate and continue the spirit of Jesus, who himself prioritized the outcast, the widow, the sinner, and the orphan, all in a revolution of values that placed love above all else. For us, food is love, as our shirts say. We prioritize food, thus prioritizing love. It's how, in fact, we make love concrete. We pray that our elected officials, our brothers and sisters in Congress, will prioritize this budget in a similar way. So, please help me in turning our attention to a few local leaders who will make some remarks about that very nature of prioritizing food and prioritizing love. I want to welcome first our Chief of Government and Public Policy, Mario Bledo. Mario, come on in. Up here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael, and thank you all for being here this morning. Behind me, a great group of leadership from the San Antonio Food Bank, and you'll hear from folks in just a few minutes. But as Michael was framing this topic up, right, it's been pretty tough these days, not only with grocery prices and goods and services that families that we serve have been trying to purchase and set their table with food. A lot of food insecurity needs out there, and so it's been tough up in Washington, D.C. these days on Capitol Hill. And our friends in the U.S. Congress, U.S. House, over the course of the last several weeks, entered into a budget reconciliation process where committee hearings were held, budget cuts were proposed. And so the House finished up their work recently around proposed cuts to SNAP and Medicaid. SNAP and Medicaid, okay? During a time when families are having a hard time to get health care, to keep health care, but to also purchase food. If you know the San Antonio Food Bank, we cover 29 counties in southwest Texas. The majority of them are rural. So when you think about those counties and townships and those folks out there that are trying to purchase food and get health care, things are looking tough. So the House proposed billions of dollars in cuts to the SNAP program, to food stamps, and to Medicaid. And when they finished their process, they handed that framework and that bill draft to our friends in the U.S. Senate. So on the Senate side of Capitol Hill, our senators have been grappling over this situation and trying to look at what they can do to make improvements or potentially make even more cuts. And so now more than ever, it's important us to bring awareness around this issue to encourage our U.S. senators not to go down that path, not to go down that road, to make those drastic cuts that would be devastating to townships in our rural counties, but also here in the urban setting. So we're talking about farmers and families. We're talking about industry, businesses, right? Big impact that potentially is coming. And so today is our way of bringing awareness to this issue and to ask our U.S. elected officials in Washington, D.C., please do not make these cuts. We can't have these cuts, and we need your support. So with that, I yield my time, Michael.
Thank you, Mario. we have from the San Antonio Food Bank an official statement, and we're going to read this in 3 parts. It'll be begun by Harriet Romo, our board chair, followed by Emily DeMaria, our chief programs officer, and concluded by Dana Simmons, our past board chair. Harriet?
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Today we have community leaders, the board members of the food bank, and other people who are concerned about our community to come and ask Congress to reject the proposed cuts to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is known as SNAP. And these proposed $200 billion cuts to SNAP would devastate our Texas families, our veterans, the whole state's economy. And SNAP is not just a hunger relief program. It's a lifeline for millions of our families, millions of Texans, and it's a critical economic engine for our state. These proposed cuts would force Texas to shoulder billions in new costs or slash benefits, leaving families to go hungry and increasing the strain on food banks like our food bank and others around the country and local economies. And we have one of the best food banks in the country, and we have a very needy state. So please do not cut these programs like SNAP and WIC for women's and infant and children. Thank you.
Good afternoon. There are other potentially far-reaching consequences of the proposed changes, including a state cost share requirement that could cost Texans an additional $2.3 billion per biennium, the elimination of the SNAP Ed nutrition education program that helps participants make healthy food choices on a very limited budget, and expanded work requirements that would impact seniors and parents of young children. SNAP already provides modest support, just $6 per person per day, but it makes a world of difference for families trying to stay afloat. Cutting this program will make it harder for families to put food on the table, and it will increase hunger in the state of Texas.
Hi, I'm Dana Simmons. I'm a retired Air Force Brigadier General and a longtime board member of the San Antonio Food Bank. We want to highlight the economic impact, the ripple effects that has been generated from SNAP. An estimated $10.73 billion worth of economic impact for Texas in 2024. Let that number sink in for just a minute. Over $10 billion. And it has generated and supported over 94,000 jobs in Texas. Our message is simple. Protect SNAP. Protect Texas. Protect the people of Texas. We urge Congress to stand with the more than 250 organizations, which include food banks, faith-based groups, healthcare providers, retailers, community organizers across the state of Texas, and vote no on any budget that includes reductions, harmful reductions to SNAP. Thank you.
All right, here to bring it home, our CEO, Eric Cooper, please.
So I couldn't be any more proud of the individuals that stand behind me. Our board of directors coming from diverse backgrounds, but all coming together in a common cause to make sure that those in our community have enough nourishment on their table so themselves and their children and family have food to eat. I also couldn't be any more prouder than our staff, the team members that work tirelessly here at the food bank. They are amazing. The almost 2,000 volunteers that come through our doors to help and lean in and serve, the hundreds of food companies and financial donors that contribute on a daily basis to this great work that we're about. When given the choice, I think hunger becomes a policy choice. And when it comes to making a choice, all of us have the opportunity to do the right thing. And that's what today's press conference is about. It's about encouraging Washington to do the right thing. And we come together here in San Antonio, united in the message that people should have food. Food is love. Food is family. Food is tradition. It's culture. It has the power to bring people together, and we believe that that's what needs to happen in Washington. Hunger is not a red or a blue issue. It's a red, white, and blue issue. We all need to come together around policies that help families move forward so they can thrive. And any bill that is proposed that would take food from the mouths of children, from seniors, from families who critically need the nourishment as they're choosing between buying their medicine, buying school supplies for their kids, putting a roof over their head and paying rent. We as a country need to make sure that people have the food that they need to nourish themselves so that they can thrive. So join us. To learn more, you can go to our website at safoodbank.org, but join this movement, join our voice in making sure Congress does the right thing. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you.
Just to wrap it with two images. The proposed cuts to SNAP, 10% or so, might seem a small amount, right? 10%. If you lose 10% of your budget, you know, you'd have to tighten your belt a little bit. 10% of SNAP would be equal to closing down the entire charitable food system in the United States. Every food bank and every food pantry, if they close tomorrow, that's what's equal to 10% of SNAP. Or look at it the other way. This 40-acre campus, this warehouse and its volunteers, its food that it brings in, it would have to double to meet the need. So the reality is, if the cuts come, we're going to have to ration even more. We're rationing today. Rationing more is not something that we should do for our families. Our families need our support. I want to thank you all for being here. More to come. Thank you, staff and team, and thank you to the volunteers in back. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Yeah. Julianne, give you a photo? Yeah. Stay, if you'll stay. Yep, grab it.